School presents NJSIAA Group 1 Playoff Football. Today from Woodbury High School, the host Thundering Herd 7-1 on the season against the Glassboro Bulldogs, undefeated in 8 games and only giving up 2 touchdowns in those 8 contests. Hello everybody, I'm Bob Shryock along with Steve Crispin from the sidelines in Woodbury. A beautiful day for the first round of the Group 1 playoffs. And Steve, the classic matchup today of speed against speed.
We got 2 of the best in South Jersey here this afternoon. It's the one aspect of this game that has a lot of people talking. Glassboro has been absolutely dominating this season, as you had mentioned, going through that Tri-County Conference schedule. And it's been their team speed that's made them so dominating. Dominate on the offensive side, absolutely dominate on the defensive side. But today they're going to match up against a team that has equal team speed. It'll be a great challenge for Woodbury with defensively how they're going to be able to handle this high-powered Glassboro offense.
Some people feel that Glassboro has played a bit of a soft schedule, Steve. 6 shutouts in those 8 games. They played a couple of teams that have had difficult seasons. Nonetheless, that's an impressive record, and they've also beaten a couple of good teams by shutouts, Salem and Williamstown.
It certainly has to be a concern for the Glassboro coaching staff. It has been a relatively easy season. They have not been challenged since the early weeks of the season. They had Salem in their first game, which was a tough win for them. Gloucester in their second game. Gloucester, one of the few teams that put points up against Glassboro. So they have not been challenged since that point in the season. And as everybody knows, you only get better by playing better teams. And that's another big question a lot of people have coming into this ball game. A lot of people feel that maybe the Thunder and Herd, with the schedule that they've had, having the opportunity to meet a good Paulsboro team, a team that sits on top of the Group 1 right now, having played them very tough, might have a little bit of an advantage in terms of playing at that high level that they're going to need to play at today.
Glassboro has some players, Steve, with playoff experience. Glassboro was in it last year, beaten by Gloucester, a close game in the first round. Woodbury has not played in the playoffs since '91, so none of these Woodbury players have been in the playoffs. Could that be a factor?
It certainly could be. This is a very heavy senior-laden team, this Glassboro Bulldogs squad. A lot of seniors, we know there's a lot of enthusiasm. They're very focused on what they had to do this season. Their goal was not only to get here, but to win this Group 1 championship and finish with an undefeated season. But they're meeting a fine Woodbury team. Both these teams are well-balanced offensively, good defensive side on both sides of the ball. It's certainly going to be a very interesting matchup.
Classic matchup today from Woodbury High School. First round of the playoffs. Glassboro and Woodbury right after this. Group 1 playoff football at Woodbury High School. Gorgeous day for a contest. Woodbury and Glassboro. The Thundering Herd will be kicking off to Glassboro High School. Bob Shryock along with Steve Crispin. Winner of this game against the winner of the Paulsboro-Burlington contest, being played simultaneous to this one.
Memo about the 2-yard barrier. You know that they're looking to make it.
Well, we're hearing the voice of Jim Boyd, the Woodbury football coach. Dave? Kicking off for Woodbury High School, all-around star Lamar Sturdivant. He's only a junior. What a great player he is. And deep for the Bulldogs of Glassboro High School, Kenny Scott, along with Tyron Mills. And ready to go as the Group 1 playoffs are underway. Bouncing kick by Sturdivant, takes a high hop, fielded at the 25-yard line, and return across to the 30-yard line by Glassboro's Dan Randall, and that's where the Bulldogs will start their first possession from their own 32-yard line, Steve.
Jim Boyd showing a lot of confidence in his defensive ball club, electing to defer to the second half, allowing Glassboro to bring their offensive squad out here early. That kickoff that we saw by the Thunder Herd, something you're going to see a lot this afternoon, a lot of respect for the deep speed, especially from number 20, Kenny Scott of the Bulldogs.
NC Yitem runs the attack for Glassboro. He's a senior quarterback. He's done a great job. The first carry by Ken Scott, and not much doing as the Woodbury defense does the job on the first running play of the football game. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
I think the Woodbury coaching staff coming into this ball game has to feel they must stop the running game of the Bulldogs. Both of these teams, their offense is dictated about being able to control the offensive tempo by running the football.
Gary Brackett, number 32, is the key man in the backfield for the Bulldogs. He's had a tremendous season. He gets the carry, and nothing doing again as that Woodbury line on the first 2 plays has been up to the task. The tackle made by Terry Collins along with Bryant McKinney. He's a big one, 6'8", 255-pounder.
We have talked about the speed of both of these clubs, the excellent backfield, Brackett and Scott for the Bulldogs. We'll be talking about the Thundering Herd once they take possession of the ball, but I think it's either team's ability to throw the football this afternoon is going to make a big difference in this ball game and how successful they can be.
Right, facing a passing down on 3rd down and 11, but they run the fullback draw, and there's some good yardage for Brackett. Breaks 1 tackle down the right sideline, and he'll have the first down apparently for Glassboro. Steve, an excellent call on 3rd down and long. Woodbury looking for the pass. They run the draw to perfection, and it'll be first down for the Bulldogs.
Woodbury Thundering Herd in their defensive setup to prevent the pass. They spread the field by sending 2 receivers to the left-hand side and really open things up nicely in the middle. They got a deep drop by the linebackers, and Brackett doing a real nice job that once he got through the line of scrimmage to break it to the outside to pick up that first down.
16-yard gain by Brackett to the 47-yard line, first down and 10. Scott with the carry, and Scott dives across midfield where he's met by Sturdivant and Dave Wayman. So Glassboro into Woodbury territory for the first time. Pick up on the play of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs run out of a very basic wing T formation. You're going to see a lot of dives and traps on the inside by Brackett, the fullback. We'll see a lot of sweep and leads to the outside by Scott and the wingback, who will be going in motion an awful lot. Very important for Woodbury to kind of contain that corner and not allow the Bulldogs to get to that outside.
And off straight ahead. Brackett penalty marker is thrown the play. Brackett got it down to about the 47, but had the first penalty of the ball game. And there's a face mask penalty against Woodbury, so that'll hurt the Thundering Herd. Steve Lopes, the referee on today's crew. And this is a big one. This is a 15-yard face mask penalty, Steve.
I think penalties and turnovers are going to be 2 big keys in today's ball game. Glassboro's been a good team in terms of not having a lot of turnovers. They force a lot of turnovers. This is going to be a mistake-free ball game for one of these teams to come out on top.
1st and 10 at the Woodbury 31-yard line after the 15-yard face mask penalty, giving Glassboro its 2nd first down of this first series. Scott with the carry, trying to find some running room. He is knocked down after a short gain by Sturdivant. You'll hear Sturdivant's name a lot on defense, Steve. I've seen Woodbury play. Lamar Sturdivant, one of the leading scorers in South Jersey, but probably even better defensively. He is quite a defensive ball player.
It is so important when you're facing the Bulldogs, especially when they run that sweep, that you get good, strong pursuit from your cornerbacks and your safeties. Sturdivant coming from that safety position. Once you read the sweep, it is real important you come up field hard, try to force the action as much as you can. He did a nice job defensively on that play.
2nd and 8 from the 29. Straight ahead to Brackett, and he is corralled after a very short game. The tackle on the play by Wayman in the play. Seth Allen also with part of the tackle. Gain of just about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Ensa Yitem, the Glassboro quarterback, has not thrown the football, Steve, but he has had quite a year throwing. He is 26 for 42, percentage of 62 completion with just 1 interception and 7 touchdowns. He's had quite a year. Big 3rd down and 7 call for the Bulldogs. And the carry by Mills, but he's not going anywhere as the tackle is made by Wayman, who's had several hits on this first drive. It'll be 4th down coming up and about 6 for the Bulldogs, the spot at the 27-yard line.
The Thunder Herd has got excellent penetration defensively from their front 4. It has really freed the linebackers, the safeties, and the cornerbacks that come hard. Wayman's playing an outside linebacker position. He read the counter action from Mills, who was coming out of that wingback position. He held his ground, did a nice job of holding up, enabling the other defensive players to come in there and finish it off.
4th down and 7 for Glassboro. Keep it on the ground to Scott. Scott swinging right, and he is hammered out of bounds. Oh, what a hit by Travis Davis. Big hit by Davis, and Woodbury will take possession.
They're the plays that you have to make. Again, the quarterback who's not going to be blocked. Scott is able to get outside the end defensive line. Looked like he was going to have some room and utilize that speed to get to the first down. But Travis coming up there and really putting a nice hit on Scott, knocking him out of bounds, preventing the first down, and Woodbury will take over.
So Glassboro uses 4 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock. Woodbury with its first possession at 7:54 the first period, still no score. And another good quarterback. Kenny Wilson has had a tremendous career for Woodbury. And Wilson almost breaks it. Finally knocked down by Melvin Moore of the Bulldogs. But Kenny Wilson, a quarterback who loves to run with the football, he's got 12 touchdowns on the season and 671 rushing yards. That's second only, actually Reagan and Wilson has started very close in that category for Woodbury. So second down and less than a yard for the Thundering Herd. And Wilson dragged down this time. Good pursuit defensively by those Bulldogs. The first tackle made by Rashawn Green. You'll hear his name a lot today, too. He's a superb senior defensive player in this Glassboro team. They're going to look at this one, Steve.
Well, Woodbury traditionally runs the wishbone attack, 3 guys in the backfield. It puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback has to make that initial read. You'll see a lot of times they'll fake that dive from the fullback, and he's actually reading the tackle and trying to determine whether he's going to hand the ball off or pull it out and continue with the option. So a lot of pressure is put on the quarterback. You're going to see one of the best today in Wilson, a veteran who's had the opportunity to run this attack as Woodbury's able to pick up this first down. And it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. First of all, you have to take away the fullback dive. Then you got to worry about the quarterback coming down the line and try to take him out of play. And then they still have the pitch option should the quarterback not have anywhere to run.
Woodbury with its first down of the football game. They're at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10, 7:05 to play first period with the clock moving. First round of the NJSIAA Group 1 playoffs. And again, Gloucester County heavily represented with these two teams in Paulsboro. Wilson keeping it again and maybe a yard to the 35.
I think you see from the Bulldogs defensively, they decided that they're going to send a lot of people against this running attack of the Thundering Herd. They're going to try to take away the running game, maybe try to force Woodbury to maybe put the ball in the air. As you can see, the linebackers are attacking, ends are attacking. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the inside. One impressive thing of this Woodbury offense is that you will see a lot of variations of this wishbone attack. You'll see one man in the backfield. Sometimes they'll split a lot of receivers. They come at you in a lot of different directions.
Injured Glassboro player on the field. That's the reason for the timeout. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more first round action from Woodbury High School. Bob Shryock and Steve Crispin at Woodbury High School. The ball at the 35-yard line. Wilson back to throw. Fires it over the middle and has his man to the 40, to the 30. Travis Davis heading for the end zone. Touchdown Woodbury. On a 65-yard scoring strike from Kenny Davis to Travis Davis cutting over the middle and nobody touched him. Woodbury at 6:30 the first period jumps on top of Glassboro 6-0 Steve. Only the third score giving up by Glassboro all season long.
A lot of people felt that if Woodbury is going to be in this ball game, they had to score early and get on top. We talked about the variations that we will see in this Woodbury offensive attack, and that is one of them. Their ability to split the field, put some players on both sides. Their passing game with Wilson in the quarterback position is very strong. And the last couple of times that they've come out with this varied formation, the Glassboro defensively has not reacted well. A lot of confusion in the secondary. Davis wide open across the middle.
And the kick is blocked. In there to block it for Glassboro High School, Brian Ivy. And the score stands at 6-0 Woodbury with 2:30 to go in the first period. But a 65-yard scoring strike from Kenny Wilson to Travis Davis. And Coach Boyd likes that. Let's look at this one again, Steve.
It's a short drop by Wilson. He's going to find number 18, Davis, coming across the middle. There's the opening right on the other side of the linebackers, and no one on the opposite side of the field to pick up Davis as he runs for the corner and shows some outstanding speed and run away from that defensive secondary.
Travis Davis into the end zone of Woodbury, the lead in this football game, 6-0. That was a perfect strike by Wilson. Wilson has not had a good season passing the ball from a completion percentage standpoint, as the item for Glassboro. Kenny only 29 for 72 before that pass, but that was his 6th TD pass of the season, and a 65-yarder to give Woodbury the early lead.
We talked about the fact that the passing game is going to be very important here this afternoon. I don't think either of these teams are going to be successful in just running the football. With 8 men up on the line of scrimmage, it's going to be tough, and you're going to have to keep that defense a little bit off balance by being able to throw the ball effectively in the air.
Sturdivant kicking off for Woodbury. Mills, Scott deep for Glassboro. Scott at the 15-yard line looking for some blocking, and he will not go far. Good job down covering the kickoff. Andre Henry of Woodbury making the initial hit, and Glassboro will have its second possession starting from its own 27-yard line. And we're going to take a look now at the Woodbury schedule on the season. You can see that only loss to Paulsboro 28-21 in the third week of the season. They've had a good year defensively as well, a couple of shutouts over Haddon Heights and Audubon High School. They close their regular season against Gateway on Thanksgiving Day. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Mills with the carry, and he is tripped up, gets away, and then is hammered down. The initial hit was made by Kenny Wilson, was unable to bring Mills down, but his teammates were there to finish the job. A gain of about a yard on the play to the 29, 2nd down and 9 for Glassboro.
Wilson doing a nice job of coming across that line of scrimmage, and as you said, not able to make the tackle, but he slows Mills up just enough where, again, that Woodbury pursuit, which has been so strong and is so important in your defensive scheme against a team that will come at you like the Bulldogs will.
Watch it trap! Watch it trap!
Item looking to throw. Has a man downfield, and a good effort, but good coverage also by Sturdivant on the intended receiver, Uriel Riley. Not a bad throw by Item, and of course Riley at 6'4", a great target, just unable to come down with it.
And Yitem had Riley early in the pattern. He was forced out of the pocket. Had he had the opportunity to set himself up, you're going to see the pressure at the top of your screen. They're going to fake the sweep. And here's the pressure that does not allow Yitem to set and throw. And by now, though Riley is behind the defense, the secondary has had the opportunity, Sturdivant there to recover and knock the ball loose.
3rd and 9 from the 29. Yitem to throw again, good protection. Little swing pass to Scott, looking for some blocking. Gets away from one and another, but knocked out of bounds at about the penalty marker is down. He's knocked out at about the 32, it looks like. Short of the 1st down. And a holding call against Glassboro. They will decline this, I'm sure, and force the Bulldogs to punt.
Well, Jim Boyd and his staff have to be very happy with the performance of their defensive team so far in this ball game as we get the call. Here it is, as you said, holding against the Bulldogs is declined, but they've done everything well. They've defended the run extremely well. They're going 4 down linemen, looking to get great penetration. And they have 4 people kind of set up behind that front 4 that are just coming hard to the ball.
Jim Boyd has to be happy with what he sees so far. Justin Newell, the punter for Glassboro, and Lamar Sturdivant, very dangerous returner for Woodbury. High snap from center, but Newell handles it okay, and not a very good punt, but no chance of returning. Woodbury's going to have tremendous field position at the 47-yard line of Glassboro, so as Steve indicates, everything going right so far for the Thundering Herd. 5 minutes, 16 seconds to play. First period, Woodbury on the strength of that 65-yard scoring strike from Wilson to Travis Davis with the 6-0 lead.
Did you make that
look at the Glassboro schedule. What a tremendous season the Bulldogs have had. As you can see, only Gloucester High and Penns Grove last week have scored against this awesome Glassboro team. They've spun 6 shutouts, an impressive 18-0 win over Salem, and a big one over Williamstown as well. They've had just a great season. Straight ahead, fumble. And Sturdivant able to fall on the loose ball, but Sturdivant with his first carry from scrimmage fumbles the football, and no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, this certainly isn't a position the Bulldogs have seen themselves in throughout the course of this season. They've been up early and up big early in ball games. Now they need to come up with some big plays defensively. They got to find a way of shutting down this offense, this Woodbury Thundering Herd.
The first time they've been down in a game all season long, Steve. Reagan with the carry, and he gets some pretty good yardage. Dragged down by Buddy Rogers. Reagan with the carry to the 43-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and about 6 for Woodbury.
Real nice read that time by Wilson, and I don't know if you have an opportunity to see it. They don't block the tackle. Brian Ivey on the right side is the tackle. He comes up the field. If he comes up the field, Wilson's read is to give it to the fullback. If he goes after the fullback to make the tackle, he'll take the ball out and continue with the option.
Wilson with the option pitch to Sturdivant. Sturdivant trying to get to the outside. Does, cuts it back in, and looks to be a little bit short of the 1st down. He is brought down by Lamar Sod of the Bulldogs, along with Melvin Moore. And this is going to be close to a 1st down, but apparently a little bit short. So Woodbury with a bit of a decision here, I believe. It's going to be 4th down, and it looks like less than a yard.
Almost a big mistake by Tyrone Mills, the cornerback on the left-hand side for the Bulldogs. He came up, there were 4 Bulldog defenders there that were ready to make the tackle on Sturdivant. You got to force the action back to your defense, but they allowed Sturdivant to get to the outside and close to that first.
Wilson keeps it and plows ahead, and a little second effort, he might have gotten it. It's close. He was stopped, it looked in his tracks, but then Steve was able to recharge and dive ahead for maybe the extra foot or two that he needed, but I think they're going to have to measure this one.
It looked like he got a good mark here on this side and probably should have enough for the 1st down.
It's a nice job by the center of the Glassboro defense stopping Wilson, but Wilson with second effort gets very close. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to play first quarter. Woodbury leading 6-0, and first down Woodbury. It's close, but they get it. So they'll have 1st and 10 at the Glassboro 37-yard line.
We talk about the keys in this ball game. We talk about the fact that both these teams need to be able to throw the ball effectively in the air. The one thing about Woodbury, they need to be concerned with is turnovers. It's played a big part in their season. When you run a wishbone attack, when you have the option, the pitch, you're going to have a lot of turnovers, and they want to minimize them today as much as they can.
Wilson with the keeper, and he is still on his feet. He's heading to the end zone, to the 5, and he's in. Kenny Wilson with tremendous second effort. He was hit a couple of yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Steve, with second effort, kept going, and he goes into the end zone at 3:32 of the first period, and Woodbury has shocked Glassboro, leading 12-0.
And this is why Kenny Wilson makes this wishbone attack go, and it's why he's the leading scorer for this team. Again, an excellent read. He fakes to the fullback over the left-hand side. And what was real impressive about that particular play is after he faked to the fullback, he immediately cut upfield. He read the opening, got hit in the secondary, did not go down, and it was that second effort that got him in for the score.
And they'll try for 2, having missed the 1-point conversion on the first TD. And Sturdivant is stopped and does not get in, so a good job again on the conversion try by the Glassboro defense. However, Woodbury leads 12-0 on this great run by Wilson. Look at this one, Steve.
It's your basic triple option to the left. You'll see the fullback dive. He reads the tackle down, and look at the cut up field right there before he gets to the end. And then there's the hit in the secondary. Poor job of not wrapping, and Wilson gets off, and he's in for the score.
So Woodbury, Steve, has scored as many points in the first quarter of this playoff game against Glassboro, as many touchdowns as Glassboro's previous 8 opponents did all season long. So Glassboro now is going to have to fight from behind, something they have not had to do all season long in their perfect 8-0 campaign.
We talk about the matchup and how well these two teams matched up with each other, and Jim Boyd and his staff have put together an excellent game plan and how to attack this Glassboro offense. And If you want to attack the Glassboro defense, you want to attack it by attacking it in all areas. This is a team that if you allow them to stack up on the inside and just have to worry about a running game, they can be so tough. But right now, Glassboro defensively a little on their heels. They're worried about the fullback dive, the options, the passing game. You really don't know the direction that this Woodbury team is going to attack them from.
Tournament kicking off for the third time here in the first quarter. Scott, Mills, deep for Glassboro. The Bulldogs need to get their offense in gear now and get back in this ball game. Better kick by Sturdivant this time. Mills backing up. He'll take it at about the 12-yard line. And great coverage downfield. The first tackle made by Kevin Jackson. Tremendous special teams coverage by Jackson. And Glassboro will start from deep in its own territory at the 14-yard line.
Real nice kick by Sturdivant. He gets it deep and to the side where Mills is not there. Ball bounces. It's not going to go out of bounds. Their kickoff coverage team from Woodbury attacking very hard, getting downfield, and holding them inside that 15-yard line.
A spot at the 13-yard line. Bulldogs with their third possession of this first quarter. Lindsey Yitem, the quarterback, he's had a great senior season. Straight ahead to Brackett, not going very far. And the tackle by Woodbury's Seth Allen.
Bulldogs are going to find it very difficult to run on the inside. There are 4 players defensively for Woodbury from guard to guard. You have 2 down linemen and you have 2 linebackers behind them. There's no way that they're going to be able to get out and block all 4 of those players. I think Woodbury knows that they got to take away Brackett's inside game and force the Bulldogs to the outside where they feel their speed can react quick enough to take away that outside running game.
2nd down and 9 after the yard by Brackett. Now Scott swinging to the outside, makes a good move, and he'll get a couple of yards before he's pulled down. So it's going to be a 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. Sturdivant with part of the tackle for the Thundering Herd along with David Wayman. What a first quarter he's had. So it's going to be 3rd down and a long 5 for Glassboro.
And you talk about the schedule the Bulldogs have had and how playing a lot of teams that might not be that strong can really hurt you. The Bulldogs have not been in a situation where they've never been able to run the football. And now you get into these 3rd down and long situations, something that you're not used to during the course of a season, can really make things difficult.
Yitem with a quick out and a nice move by Brackett. Gary, that's Grant Brackett, brother of Gary Brackett. And that'll be close to a 1st down.
Brackett had a lot of room out here to the left-hand side. It looks like they're going to have to get a measurement on this one. It is going to be very close, and the Bulldogs really need a 1st down. They got to put together a string of offensive plays here just to change the field position, because Woodbury has enjoyed great field position throughout the course of this first quarter.
I think he's got this one, Steve. Glassboro with the 1st down, so they keep possession with 2:05 to play in the first period. Nice pass by Yitem, and a good reception by Grant Brackett. He's a senior. And Glassboro will keep possession at its own 24-yard line.
Well, Brackett doing a nice job of getting downfield and making sure you got past the yardage that you needed for the 1st down, because he had to come back for the ball just a little bit, because he didn't have a lot of room to run with that ball after the reception.
Brackett and Scott are the back split behind Yitem. And this play is read beautifully by Bryant McKinney, the 255-pounder. He snuffed that one out all the way, and Scott is thrown for a loss all the way back to the 16. However, there is a Glassboro or a penalty on the play, and
it's like another face mask will go against Woodbury after making a great defensive play. As you mentioned, McKinney coming across that line of scrimmage. The penetration is so important up front, not to allow these backs to get to the corner quickly.
So this is the 2nd 15-yard face mask penalty against Woodbury here in the first quarter. Steve Lopes making the call, doesn't have his mic turned on.
Sit up.
So it's now 1st down and about 3 for Glassboro, the spot at the 31. So McKinney's good defensive play is negated. Scott looking for some blocking his way. Another penalty marker is down.
That marker came from all the way on the other side of the field. They're calling a holding a long, long way away. It's going to go against the Bulldogs after having a first down and short after the penalty, trying to run the sweep to the short side of the field.
You know, that's been one of Glassboro's few weaknesses all season long, Steve. They have had a lot of penalties. This is the 54th penalty against them in a season, only 35 against their opponents. So the one problem they've had is penalties that have hurt them at various points in the season.
And when you've had a dominating season the way that they have, these penalties haven't been all that important in determining outcomes of ball games, but certainly here this afternoon it is going to be a very big factor.
It's first down and 12, back to the 21-yard line. Get him to throw, good protection, excellent protection. Has a man open, and it's caught, a great catch by Grant Blackett. Good throw by Yitem, and Glassboro gets the first down to just short of midfield, and he was wide open, Steve.
The Woodbury secondary doing a real poor job. They're biting on the run too quickly. They got to read pass first. As that time, both receivers were able to get to the outside. You're going to see good play action fake. The one thing Yitem does is he really fakes well, and then they're able to give him time. He reads the safety and finds that the receiver is to the right-hand side as the open man, able to come down with that reception in the first down.
Scott picking his way again, and he'll get a couple of yards across midfield. Ken Scott, one of the real underrated backs, I think, in South Jersey. He's had a tremendous season, Steve. 516 yards rushing coming in, averaging almost 6 yards per carry with 6 touchdowns in the season. Kind of overshadowed by Brackett in that Glassboro backfield, but he's had a real good year.
Very quick with outstanding speed. His father was on the 1975 Bulldog team. The first year that we had group playoffs and the Bulldogs coming up victorious.
Second down and 9 at the 49. And the throw again, swings it out to Scott, missed tackle, but great job by Reagan of coming back. Reagan missed the first tackle, but had the presence of mind to get up and come right back and make the stop for no gain. That was a great play by Reagan.
And it was the good pursuit by the Woodbury defense. They read the screen out to the left-hand side. Reagan not able to bring Scott down initially, as you mentioned, slipping as Scott makes a little outside fake, but the recovery, getting back on his feet, holding the Scott with almost no gain.
That'll do it for the first quarter from Woodbury High School on the Valley and Bow scoreboard. First round of the Group 1 playoffs. It's Woodbury 12 and Glassboro nothing. First play of the second quarter, and the decision now is the catch made by Randall. Great catch by Randall of the pass by Yitem, but it'll be short of the first down. It'll bring up about a 4th down and 4 for the Bulldogs. Steve Crispin along with Bob Shryock.
Yitem looking to go deep on that particular pass pattern, but there was good coverage in the secondary. Had to check off to Randall across the middle, and looked like Yitem might have got hit just as he was about to throw the ball, and Randall went down and made a real nice catch on the play, but it prevented him from being able to pick up the yardage necessary for the first.
Justin Newell punting for Glassboro. Lamar Sturdivant, single lone safety for Woodbury. And there is a penalty marker down. Might have been a delay a game against Glassboro. We'll see what the call is. Delay a game, that'll cost Glassboro 5 yards. So a good first period by Woodbury, and particularly Kenny Wilson, their quarterback, with a 65-yard scoring strike to Travis Davis for the first score. Then Wilson carrying it in from 33 with a great second effort for the second score. Both extra point tries have failed by Woodbury. Woodbury defense has been the story of the game so far. That and Wilson's efforts. Newell gets a good punt off this time and punts it away from Sturdivant, and that's a wise decision. That's an excellent punt by Newell that goes out at about the 10-yard line. It'll give Woodbury its poorest field position of the first half.
Hey, Glassboro had to change the field position here in this second quarter, and the nice punt by Ewell with the no return will allow them to do that. Real important defensive series for the Bulldogs here. If they can stop Woodbury, not allow them to pick up the first down and force them to punt, and continue to try to maintain field position in Woodbury's end, Bulldogs need to get back into this ball game offensively.
So a chance now for the Glassboro defense, which has had such a tremendous season, to perhaps force a turnover to get back in the ball game here. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. And there is a dead ball foul, and it looked like some movement on the left side by Glassboro. We don't know whether they were pulled or not. Against Glassboro, that'll be 5 yards. And that's what we're talking about, Steve. These penalties, it really hurt Glassboro. They have Woodbury buried deep, and they give up 5 free ones there. It'll be 1st and 5.
Oh, exactly. That's the kind of things that can really hurt. It can change the whole complexion of this offensive series now for Woodbury. They like to get good yardage on first down, and now it really frees them up. Gives them more options that they can use.
Now they put Sturdivant in the wing. Wilson fires it deep. They go long. And good job defensively by Corey McConnell. The intended receiver was Wayman. Wayman looked like he was going to make a circus catch, but nice job by McConnell knocking the ball out of his hands.
It actually looked like he knocked the ball out of his hands after Wayman almost had an opportunity to receive the ball. We're not going to see it, but McConnell's locked on man to man, and it looked like Wayman got behind. There seems to be the catch and then the knockout. So Glassboro able to come up big with a nice defensive play. That's what allowed the Woodbury offense, that 5-yard penalty, to look for that long pattern there on first down.
2nd and 5. Straight ahead and nothing doing here. There's that tough Glassboro defense with Robert Pierce in on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
Pierce and Ivy doing a nice job of controlling the inside, and just like the Woodbury defense needs to control Brackett out of that fullback position, the Bulldogs defensively need to control Reagan. The whole option offense starts with the fullback dive, and if you can control that with your nose guard, it allows the tackles to get upfield and take the quarterback out of the play.
3rd and 5 call for Woodbury, and they don't call it. Wilson goes down. He will be short of the first down. A good job defensively on that series by Glassboro, and Matt Clayton with a nice tackle, and this will force a Woodbury punt. So the Glassboro defense, so outstanding all season long, does the job here, and this should give Glassboro a good field position.
1st down and 5. Disappointing for the Woodbury coaching staff that they weren't able to pick up that first down that I think they really needed to get this ball out and not to give up the good field position to the Bulldogs. You mentioned Clayton doing a nice job from that defensive end position, coming down hard on the quarterback to take Wilson down with no gain.
Travis Davis, the punter for Woodbury. Scott deep, and this is a good punt by Davis, fielded by Scott at about the 49-yard line, and he's backing up looking for some room, and he's gonna find some room. Knocked out of bounds finally, but a good job by Scott. He was pinned in, finally pushed out of bounds by Terrence Sass, but that could have been disastrous, Steve, and Scott got a few yards out of it.
It was excellent coverage by Woodbury. They came down in a group. They had the whole field covered. Scott changes his mind 2 or 3 times, and then he was able to pick up a good block from McConnell to get him to the outside and take it down close to that 40-yard line.
And Glassboro with a good starting position at the 42-yard line of Woodbury. 9:22 to play in the half, 12-0 lead for the Thundering Herd. Glassboro still very much in this football game, just down by 2 scores. Brackett straight ahead going absolutely nowhere. Center of the Woodbury line does the job. Again, the first hit made by Dan Stagliano in on the tackle. He had a lot of help on the play. Loss of about a yard, 2nd down and 11. I'm not sure Glassboro has seen a defense as effective as Woodbury's has been so far here in the first half, Steve.
Well, McKinney has made a lot of penetration. Collins, number 72 down there. They've done a real nice job of getting across that line. Stagliano, as you mentioned in there. And I'll tell you, if you can get that kind of production out of your front 4, it really frees your linebackers up to cover a lot of ground.
The item sticking in the pocket. And Wilson with the defending the pass against the intended receiver on the play, Tyron Mills. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for Glassboro.
Not a lot of room for Yedem to get that ball in there as Wilson, who kind of plays the monster position. They go with 4 guys in the secondary. Wilson will come up and take the inside man when you send two receivers to the one side. Inside receiver going down about 7-8 yards and doing a square out, and Wilson was right there with the coverage.
So a big 3rd down call and another possible passing down for Yedem. 2 receivers split to the left side. Yedem to throw, good protection again. Lots of time to throw, fires it, and it's tipped by Wilson. Good pass, and it looked like Mills would be in position for the 1st down reception, but tipped by Wilson. It'll be 4th down.
Well, the Bulldog offense has really struggled. They have not been able to put together an effective running game. This Woodbury defense has really come out strong. They've had to rely an awful lot on the pass. Yedem is still getting a lot of time. They're giving good protection up front, only rushing 4 players, but that allows 7 players to go back in coverage, and Wilson gets back in there to tip that ball away.
That could have been a big gainer, tipped at the last minute by Wilson. Newell again to punt with Sturdivant deep. Newell has been punting away from Sturdivant here in the 1st half. And Sturdivant will field this one. Oh, but he calls for a fair catch. That was a little bit of a surprise. It looked like he had a lot of running room there, Steve.
A little bit of room, but decided to play it safe there. Calling a fair catch, not allowing it to go into the end zone. We talked about in our opening how strong both these teams are offensively. I really felt coming in that with the kind of speed that both these teams had defensively, both of these teams are going to have a very difficult time moving the ball. And what we have seen, that is what we have seen so far, it's been the big play that has made the difference. The pass by Wilson in the 1st quarter for the touchdown, and then the run by Wilson for the 2nd score.
Glassboro winning the battle of field position here in the 2nd quarter. Woodbury starting from the 11. The pitch. Green looking for some room, but he'll be hauled down. Outstanding one-on-one effort, tackling effort by Saw. That was a tremendous play. That was Deshane Green with the carry. Looked like he might have a little room, but winds up with a gain of only about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Bulldogs did a real nice job of stringing that play out, and Saw is coming from that free safety position. He had a lot of ground to cover, but as you mentioned, it does a nice job of getting up there, and with that one arm, able to take Green down on the tackle.
7:50 to go, 2nd quarter. Woodbury with the ball with the lead 12-0, but the Glassboro defense has been real tough in the last couple of series. Movement in the center. The guy in the middle for Glassboro looked like he moved on the play, Brian Ivey.
Looked like he moved and made a little bit of contact there.
And that'll cost Glassboro 5 again. So the penalty's really hurting the Bulldogs here in the 1st half. And that'll make it a 2nd down and 4 for the Thundering Herd, which is trying to get some better field position. The last 2 possessions, they've had very poor field position. Sturdivant bounces off one tackle, trying to get to the outside, and he's going nowhere. They're doing a great job so far. There's the Glassboro defense defending Lamar Sturdivant.
That's how it's very interesting how similar both defenses have been. They're getting excellent penetration up front. Neither of the backfields for either team have really had the opportunity to get to the outside or get through that line of scrimmage cleanly. The defensive lines have completely dominated so far. Then they get the good pursuit, good team pursuit defensively, forcing Sturdivant to the outside, and with the kind of speed that both teams are seeing defensively, both teams are going to have a tough time getting to that corner.
Brackett made the initial hit on that play. Now it's 3rd down and 8 for Woodbury, and they will not get the 1st down. Sturdivant with a couple of yards, but Woodbury forced to punt again. So on consecutive series, the Glassboro defense has been outstanding here in the 2nd quarter. 6:30 to play. Still 12-0 Woodbury, and Woodbury will be forced again to punt.
That's 2 series in a row in which the Bulldogs have given up 5 yards with an offsides penalty. So really, in a series, Woodbury offensively has only had to go 5 yards for a 1st down and have not been able to do it.
Davis punting again. Again, Scott deep at about his own 45-yard line for Glassboro. Good snap. Gets it off, end over end punt, fielded at about the 49 by Scott, picking his way, breaks a tackle. Scott still on his feet. Nice return by Scott to about the 39-yard line. So again, in this field possession contest here in the second quarter. Glassboro winning it, but still nothing to show. We'll take a break from Woodbury. 12-0, Thundering Herd. First and 10 for Glassboro. Yitem to throw, getting pressure, forced out of the pocket, fires it, has a man open and hits him. Good open field tackle by Sturdivant, but a nice reception by Randall, giving Glassboro the first down. And you mentioned Yitem's faking before. He fakes about as well as any quarterback I've seen in a couple of years, Steve, and the faking helped on that play.
The faking is what holds the linebackers, and that's what allowed Randall to get behind the linebackers and open for the reception. Nice call there by the Bulldogs to be throwing on first down. Woodbury looking for pass. And Yitem able to give himself a little bit more time with the scramble, but always had his head up, found the receiver open downfield for the nice gain.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line. Best penetration by Scott, fumbling the football, but has the presence of mind to fall on it, and it looked like he might have a little room to the outside. And Kenny Scott just dropping the football, but does fall on a loss on a play of about 2. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Taking his eye off the ball just a little bit. As you mentioned, there was some room to that left-hand side. You get your left end, your tight end, and your tackle blocking down. You pull your guards to try to get as many people out in front as you can. I think the Bulldogs have realized they need to open things up here offensively. Try to spread the field out, try to get the defense of the Woodbury team spread out across the field.
Well, Woodbury has been somewhat vulnerable to the pass here in the first half, Steve. I think we might see Glassboro throwing the football a little more. Yitem, a high percentage passer, and he's had some receivers open today, so maybe we'll see more balls in the air by Glassboro.
Yitem, a nice size quarterback, 6'1", 6'2", kind of is able to see over that defense.
Jerry Miskar, one of the longtime Woodbury assistants. Yitem to throw, good protection again, fires it out to Scott. A missed tackle. Scott still on his feet, breaking tackles down the sideline, coming back inside. What a run! Now the ball is loose, and it's recovered for a touchdown. Apparently, a touchdown for Glassboro as Scott picks his way. Finally knocked down, but fumbles forward for a touchdown for Glassboro. Steve, did we see who picked that up?
Grant Brackett, number 11, scooping the ball up from the fumble from Scott. Big play for the Bulldogs. They needed to get back into this game both on the scoreboard and I think emotionally. They had to get a feeling that they would be able to move the ball offensively. They've opened things up here with this series by going to the air. Yitem making a real nice read. He's looking downfield. The receiver not open, dishing it off to Scott, and Scott makes a lot happen in a very little limited amount of space. Looked like he might be able to take it in for the score. Ball gets knocked out, but fortunately Brackett there to scoop it up for the score.
Justin Newell from placement for Glassboro. This is a big extra point kick. It's now 12-6, Woodbury leading. High snap. Newell with the kick, and it's no good. So neither team has been able to convert after a touchdown. And we'll see this unusual touchdown again, Steve.
Scott, the left hand back. He's going to go out into the flat. Great play fake again. Yitem, you'll see him looking downfield. Then he checks off. Here it is to Scott. After looking downfield, the player's there. Wilson not able to make the tackle. And now watch the moves by number 20, Kenny Scott. Looks like he's going to get on the sideline. Little inside, outside fake. Then he knows he wants to get to the end zone. And it looks like he might score. There's where the ball comes out, and you're going to see number 11, Brackett, come into the picture. The scoop.
Oh, what a great play by Brackett. Brackett diving into the end zone. So Glassboro with a touchdown. Kenny Scott with extraordinary effort on that play, even though he did fumble at the end of it. But an opportunistic play by Grant Brackett. He is the brother of the more heralded Gary Brackett, but what a big play Grant makes, and it's 12-6, and see, we got ourselves a ball game.
You know, there's many big plays that happen in a ball game like this, and there may be none bigger than that play right there with Scott getting down to the 5. If the Bulldogs are not able to scoop that ball up and get the touchdown, if Woodbury recovers that, that might have taken everything, all the wins out of this Glassboro football team. But now, with just under 5 minutes left here in the half, they get a score now, and they're starting to do the job defensively. It's really got to be a lift for them.
Newell with the kick. And it's fumbled, picked up, and some room for Wayman, but he'll just run laterally and not really get much at all off the kickoff. So Woodbury with not real good field position to start this drive. Now Woodbury has done nothing offensively here in the second quarter after the two big plays Wilson was involved in to give Woodbury a 12-0 first period lead. And I think the emergence of the Glassboro defense here in the second quarter has helped turn this game around, Steve.
Well, with the last series by the Bulldogs was really the first series where either team really drove the football. A couple big plays in there. But Woodbury really has not been able to control that line of scrimmage and have not been able to find any answers for this Bulldog defense.
And run straight ahead. Good second effort. Outstanding second effort by Anthony Reagan. One of the better runs from scrimmage by Woodbury today other than Wilson's TD run. This is a big gain of about 9 yards. It'll be second down and 1, the ball at the 35-yard line. 4:10 to play first period, and Woodbury would love to counter that Glassboro touchdown before halftime. So we got ourselves a good one. First round of the NJSIAA playoffs. Winner of this one facing Paulsboro Burlington winner. The pitch, and here is Sturdivant with the pass, and it's incomplete. And I tell you, that's a nice job, Steve, by Glassboro's Soud reading that play. The intended receiver was Travis Davis, but that was the halfback pass, and I thought it was read very well by Soud.
So many times at the high school level, the secondary players have a tendency to come up strong and read run very quickly. The quick pitch, Sturdivant showing pass very quickly. As you mentioned, Soud is there, able to get in and knock that ball down.
Davis, who scored one of the touchdowns in the long pass from Wilson, the intended receiver on the play. So it's third down, less than a yard. And Glassboro reading the play very well, as Wilson was going to keep the football, but how about that Glassboro defense now, ladies and gentlemen? They are really asserting themselves. Green, who's made a lot of big plays for the Bulldogs all season long, with a big one there, along with that guy, Justin Newell, the 260-pounder, the all-purpose kicker for Glassboro. And Woodbury forced to punt again, so that Glassboro defense again asserting itself.
That is a big play with third down and short to get that kind of surge on the inside where it looked like Wilson was going to fake right and come to the option to the left-hand side. Never had the time to take the ball out to get down the line.
Davis, good punt. Scott looking at it, and it'll take a Glassboro bounce and down at about the 45-yard line by Jason Clark. And there's a penalty marker down. It looks like it will go against Woodbury. And whatever it is, Glassboro may choose to decline because, again, they've got good field position.
They're talking on the sidelines. They're going to take the penalty. If it's 10 or 15 yards, they may look to push him back. It was a nice punt by Davis. It's a holding, so it'll be 10 yards from the spot. And the spot actually looks to be almost in the backfield. So it's not at the line of scrimmage, so it's not going to be just a 10-yard penalty. Actually, it's going to come out to be almost about a 16-yard penalty when you mark the 10 yards from the spot.
And so Glassboro should emerge from this with a really good field position as the ball is taken all the way back to the 14-yard line. Steve, this is a classic example of reversal of momentum. And Davis will have to kick this one from his own 1-yard line. Scott all the way up to about the 42. High kick. Scott will return it. 45. Breaks one tackle and gets about 4 yards out of it. Good coverage by Woodbury, but Scott, a real hard guy to bring down. He makes 4 yards out of nothing, and Glassboro will have good field position again at the Woodbury 41 with enough time, 2:39.
Now the important thing there as a return man is to make sure you catch the ball. You don't want to allow it to hit and roll. Scott able to catch it and get himself upfield. And I'll tell you, with the new rule now, with the clock stopping, every time you change possession, it's going to pick up about an extra play for each series. And the way that the Bulldogs have been able to move the ball in the air, they're going to be looking to put another score across.
12-6 Woodbury. Glassboro trying to get it even or go ahead before halftime. And the throw, looking deep, and the ball is batted away. And I tell you, Riley had a couple of yards in the secondary. He was going deep.
Probably running out of that tight end position, the play fake in the backfield, as you mentioned, and the big, tall, lanky senior breaking through. It did look like he was going to get open, but the pressure on the inside not allowing Yitem to get the ball off. Here you'll see the play action. They fake the sweep. Yitem, though, not a deep drop. And there's McKinney coming across. Maybe he gets a hand in there and knocks that ball down.
At 6'8", got a pretty good chance of doing that. Mills, and he'll get only about a yard. Nice play defensively by David Wayman. He's had a big first half making tackles. So it'll be 3rd down and 9. And Glassboro wants a timeout with 2:24 to play in the half. And they trail it by 12-6. We'll take a break from Woodbury High School. Be right back. Third down and 7 for Glassboro. The ball at their own 48-yard line. 2:33 to play. Glassboro must make a defensive stop, but nothing doing here as Tyron Mills is tripped up. It'll be 4th down, so Woodbury will get the football back. It'll be 4th down and about 8. The clock moving. Woodbury cannot stop it again. They need a big play from somebody, and the guy's dropping back. Sturtevant is a guy who can make that kind of a play. Steve, this has been one terrific high school football game, one of the best I've seen in a lot of years.
We have two great teams. They match up very well. It's become a real strong defensive game. It's been a well-played game, very few mistakes.
Clock running under 2 minutes. Newell kicking to Sturtevant, and
You don't wonder why they just don't snap.
Delay a game or
delay of
offense.
game, that'll cost
4th down.
Glassboro 5 yards. Woodbury needs a big play, and they need it in a hurry. So the Woodbury defense does the job. It at least gives the offense one more chance. Newell, whose extra point kick is now the margin of difference in this game, punting for the Bulldogs. Kicks it away from Sturtevant, doesn't want the long return, it'll go out of bounds. So Woodbury will have 1 minute and 38 seconds to try to pull this football game out. Woodbury out of timeouts. They're going to have to go deep.
They have the weapons to do it. We have seen that. They're capable of making the big play. Glassboro's got to stay deep in the secondary, not allow anybody to get behind, try to keep everything in front. Woodbury, of course, will be throwing for the sidelines, trying to get out of bounds as much as they possibly can. The clock will be stopped every time they get a first down.
Davis and Jackson, the wide receivers. Wilson back to throw. Wilson has that great scrambling ability. He fires it, hits Davis, and wisely, Davis goes out of bounds after getting the first down. So they only use 7 seconds on the play. They get the first down to the 42-yard line. Intelligent play by Travis Davis.
Bob Cleary making a change at the defensive end position. I know he's telling his ends, nobody is to get outside of you. You don't want the quarterback to scramble. They're playing real tight on the receivers.
Wilson, the throw, getting good protection. Again, fires it to Davis. Davis can't hold on to it. Oh boy. Incompleted pass, it'll be 2nd down and 10. Travis was, I think, trying to think what he wanted to do with the football after he caught it, Steve.
Had a lot of room to the sideline, and you can see as he caught the ball, he's got to make that decision. Do I catch the ball and get out of bounds, or do I have enough room where I can get myself upfield? If you are able to pick up the first down, as we said, the clock will stop while they reset the chains. You do have to pick up yardage, so they're the kind of things that receivers need to be thinking about as they make these receptions.
Minute 24, Wilson to throw again. Wilson can't find a receiver, and he'll have to fire it away. And it'll be 3rd down. So an excellent job by the Glassboro secondary that time, Steve, of covering all the receivers, and Wilson with no choice but to throw the football away.
He was hoping that one of his receivers, once they saw he was able to break to the outside, would break up the field. But the Glassboro secondary is being very soft. Again, they're going to allow the receptions to be made in front. They're just not going to give up the big yards.
3rd down and 10. Ball at the 42-yard line. Wilson again to throw. Again, good protection. Again, it breaks down. Throws it up in the air for grabs. That's caught! Somehow it's caught by Lamar Sturdivant for a 1st down. How did he catch that football? Thrown up for grabs by Wilson, and Sturdivant with an unbelievable catch. So Woodbury's still alive with 1:04 to go. The ball at the 34-yard line. What a terrific football game this has become. Wilson to throw. Wilson fires it, and it's incompleted. Did not have gained much. Covered well by Mills, and it was 2nd down and 10 with 54 seconds to go.
Well, we said they have the weapons, and they have a great weapon at the quarterback spot. Kenny Wilson, as he's able to see the whole field. They got things spread out.
2nd and 10, 54 seconds to go. Ball at the 33-yard line. Wilson to throw again. Chased out of the pocket. And goes deep. Uh-oh. Intercepted. That should be the football game. Intercepted by Glassboro's Melvin Moore as Wilson trying to find a receiver. Couldn't find anybody. Instead of throwing it away, threw it right to Melvin Moore, and Glassboro can now run out the clock with 43 seconds to go.
Well, Wilson's trying to scramble and get himself some time, and downfield he sees Travis Davis, who's in the end zone. He's behind Moore, but because of the rush from the left-hand side, he was just not able to set himself to throw. Here he's pushed out of the pocket, and I don't know that he even sees Payne coming in here, as he's hit. I think it takes a little bit off the ball. You see Davis is behind Moore, and maybe if Wilson had the time to set and really get something on the ball, he might have been able to get the ball to Davis and give him a chance to score, but Moore is there, comes down with the interception, and that's going to about do it.
The item will just kneel down. Glassboro is only going to have to run one more play. Woodbury cannot stop the clock. 35-34. What a huge win this is for the Glassboro High School football team. And what a disappointing loss for Woodbury, which came out firing in the 1st quarter with those 2 quick hitter touchdowns and the 12-0 lead. One more kneel, and that'll do it for this football game. The item goes down. Glassboro is going to win it, and Glassboro is going to advance to the NJSIAA Group 1 playoff finals against the Paulsboro Burlington winner. Tremendous win by Glassboro in a great high school football game. The final score on the Valley and Bow scoreboard: Glassboro 13 and Woodbury 12. We'll come back after this. Final score: Glassboro 13, Woodbury 12. Great Group 1 playoff game, 1st rounder. Glassboro advancing to the finals. Bob Cleary looks outwardly calm, but Bob, I tell you what, this is one of the best high school football games I've ever seen. How about you?
Yeah, it's one of the best since we won. If we didn't win, it'd probably be one of the worst. I tell you what, it's a hell of a game to coach, and I'm just happy we won, and I feel real bad for the Woodbury club because they have an outstanding team, and somebody had to lose today. Thank God it wasn't us.
They hit you quickly with two big touchdowns in the 1st quarter, and obviously there was some concern on your side. I think what impressed everybody was that your guys held together, Bob.
We have a lot of seniors, and the whole team is seniors, and they realized that we can have a bad play and the other team can have a good play. And they knew that we had a chance, to come back because that's the kind of team we have.
What did you say to the team after that second one, Bob?
Get ready for Paulsboro.
It's Tony Escrow, is it not?
After they scored twice, there was a lot of concern, and the kids hung in there, and we knew we could score. And we finally got it down. Actually fumbled into the end zone to get a score. And we had a couple other chances and didn't pan out. And the kids realized we played good defense. So we gave up 2, and we thought we can shut them down the rest of the game. I was hoping we could, and we did.
Yeah, anybody who had any questions about the Glassboro defense, Bob, I think those questions were answered today, the last 3 quarters, right?
Yeah, 2 big plays, a pass down the middle on a post. We weren't aggressive to the ball, and they ran an option, and the kid didn't take his assignment, didn't take the quarterback, so he's off to the races. 2 bad assignments in the whole game. It's not bad.
You know, you can look at a lot of factors in this football game, a lot of things to look at and digest, Bob. But I think, to me, the most impressive thing was your drive, which started at the end of the 3rd quarter, took off more than half of the 4th quarter. That was a great textbook drive, and that was a football game.
Yeah. Your buddy told me about it was 90-some yards, but I was just worrying about 10 yards at a time. I never went back to think it was 97-yard drive or whatever it was. All we tried to do is get a first down after first down and convert at the end.
You had 6 first downs, and 4 of them were 3rd down conversions. That's good coaching, isn't it?
No, it's having good kids. Not good coaching, good kids.
Bob, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Nick Morris. Of course, the season dedicated to Nick. He would have been your captain this season. Young man lost it to Deptford Mall this summer. But what emotional part did that play in your season, Bob?
With most kids, it's very emotional. They think about him every day. They talked about him in the locker room for the first time today. And his sister is our water girl. So we still have part of Nick with us, his twin sister.
Bob, thank you very much. Congratulations. You still have 2 more football games to play.
Yeah, you're right. So we have 2 more weeks of practice.
Okay, Bob, thank you.
Thank
Congratulations. Steve, I tell you what, you and I worked a few games over the years. I don't recall one that I enjoyed doing as much as this one. Terrific game.
We had said it earlier in the game when we first got here. It doesn't get any better than this. We knew we had a great matchup at the beginning of the day. A beautiful day here at Woodbury. Even though it's a first-round game, this we might have that had all the energy and all the emotion of maybe a final would have. But as now Bob said, you know, that's over. And this Glassboro team coming off a big victory today, they need to look, first of all, Thanksgiving. They'll be playing Clearview on Thanksgiving. But as everybody here has said, you know, Paulsboro is going to be next if indeed they're successful over Burlington City, and that has all the makings of an ideal matchup. And Glassboro's got to be very happy with their performance. They came up big defensively when they got down early in the ball game, and they came up big offensively when they had to.
I think a game like this shows what a team is made of, Steve. They've had the big season. They've only given up 2 scores. Woodbury hits them twice in the first quarter. And, you know, a 3rd score there, it could have been a devastating day for Glassboro, but they really held together. They reversed momentum in the 2nd quarter, and as Bob indicated, the defense really set it up the rest of the way.
And he mentioned the leadership of this ball club. You mentioned that getting down 2 touchdowns early, it would have been so easy to kind of say, listen, it's not going to be our day. We can pack it in. We're in here against a good team, but they didn't. The defense came alive. They had to from that point on. The offense got that score in the first half, which they needed, I think, to give them the momentum to go in at halftime, and then to come out here and put that drive together that they did between the 3rd and the 4th quarters. Extremely impressive.
We don't know who won the Paulsboro-Burlington game at this point. We know that Paulsboro was ahead. A lot of people looking for that dream matchup, 2 unbeatens, Paulsboro and Glassboro, and if Paulsboro wins, that's going to happen.
There'll be so many factors involved in this game. 2 potentially undefeated teams coming together. Paulsboro with the winning streak on the line. The Glassboro-Paulsboro matchups of the past, the many, many years that they used to meet in the last game of the season on Thanksgiving. And if you look at the comparative scores, Paulsboro playing Woodbury earlier in the season, it was a tough game. It was a tough win for Paulsboro. Many people thought that maybe Woodbury, if they hadn't made the mistakes, could have pulled out a victory there. So if you just look by comparison, it has all the makings of a great game.
Steve, great working with you again.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, terrific football game. Final score, Glassboro 13, Woodbury 12. The Bulldogs still unbeaten, advance in the Group 1 playoffs. Thanks for watching on Comcast Cable.